After 40 years of marriage, I turned 68 this year. Over the years, my life has grown quieter. Simpler too. I no longer care about the cut of my clothes or whether my jewelry sparkles. I rarely even think about how to make my days feel more fulfilling. When I was young, I believed life was long, that I should pour every ounce of my time into my family. I thought once they no longer needed me, I'd finally get to enjoy the good life. But now I realize, it's not that they stopped needing me. Maybe I was never truly needed in the first place. This house is spotless, every corner and every piece of furniture meticulously maintained by my own hands. And yet standing here, all I feel is emptiness. The soft amber light from the ceiling glows over the carefully arranged details, casting a warmth that feels strangely hollow. This year's birthday feels different. My daughter Lauren has recently gained quite a following on social media. She's been creating a series of videos called The Ideal Family Life, always playing the role of the doting, thoughtful daughter, capturing heartwarming moments of familial love for the camera. She told me her viewers recently especially adore the loving daughter caring for her aging mom kind of content. So this time she decided to film a birthday celebration and make it the centerpiece of her channel. I woke up early Saturday morning to the clatter of pots and pans in the kitchen. That alone was unusual. Harold usually heads out for his morning run at this time, so the house is typically silent. Rubbing my temples, I stepped out of the bedroom and found my 7-year-old grandson Noah on the couch, eyes glued to his tablet while cartoon noises blared from the speakers. He didn't even notice me walk into the room. Drawn by the smell of spices, I walked into the kitchen to find Lauren and my son-in-law, Daniel, bustling around, completely absorbed in the food prep. Several dishes were already spread across the table. I managed to smile and asked, "Lauren, are we expecting guests today?" Without looking up, she kept chopping onions and laughed. "Mom, don't you remember? We're celebrating your birthday early. My followers are busy living their own lives over the weekend, so I'll post the video on Monday." Perfect timing. I hesitated for a second. My actual birthday is next Tuesday. Today wasn't it? But I figured maybe they were swamped with work and couldn't celebrate later. An early gathering wasn't the worst thing. Honestly, for a moment I even felt a little touched as long as they wished to celebrate with me. I walked over to the dining table and looked at the dishes they'd prepared. Sizzling roast meats, lobsters drenched in heavy spices, beef stewed in a fiery chili sauce. The only thing that seemed remotely light was a shrimp dish, buried under a thick coat of garlic butter. My smile froze in place. I gave birth to Lauren when I was 35, considered a late pregnancy even back then. Harold's an only child. From the start, his parents made it clear they were hoping for a boy. When Lauren was born, they remained polite, but there was always a quiet air of disappointment. Back then, I was physically exhausted after giving birth, but there was no proper care. No one seemed to care whether I was getting enough nutrition. Even the most basic medical attention felt like an afterthought. I still remember spending those days chewing stale bread and overly sweet can juice. My appetite tanked, and that's when my teeth started to weaken. By the time I turned 60, I had no choice but to wear a full set of dentures. A few years ago, I heard dental implants had become more advanced. I considered getting them, but the cost held me back. Nearly $4,000 per tooth. It just didn't seem worth it. And what did Harold say at the time? "You really want to shove those metal pieces in your mouth? That's disgusting. Your teeth are messed up because you didn't take care of them. Look at me, I'm 2 years older and I can still eat anything." Lauren chimed in too. "Mom, dentures are so much more convenient at your age. Why waste money? Better to save it for Noah's college fund." Back then, I convinced myself they had a point. Maybe, at my age, it really was better to think about the next generation. Eating softer food wasn't the end of the world. But these past few years, even the dentures have started to feel like a struggle. I have to nibble my way through a simple sandwich, bite by cautious bite. Looking at the heavy, spice-laden dishes on the table now, I suddenly felt a wave of disquiet. Was Lauren just being thoughtless, forgetting I can't chew half of this food? Or was it something worse? That no one in this family has ever truly cared about what I like to eat, or what I'm even able to eat. The table was already filled to the brim with food. Just as the clatter from the kitchen died down, Harold walked through the door, so precisely timed, it was as if the whole thing had been rehearsed. One hand in his jacket pocket, the other holding his gym water bottle, he carried with him the sharp, salty scent of a post-workout sweat. No flowers. No gifts. He stood at the door empty-handed. As I looked at his figure, a heavy weight sank in my chest. In that moment I felt foolish, ridiculously naive even. I'd actually held on to a shred of hope, like a child staring up at the sky after the fireworks have faded, still waiting for one more spark. Harold glanced at the table and patted Lauren on the shoulder with a grin. Wow, this is quite the setup. Your mom's really getting the royal treatment today. I don't remember you making this kind of fuss on my birthday. I forced a faint smile. He wasn't wrong. On his birthday, Lauren had taken the whole family to a high-end restaurant downtown, booked a private room, served an elegant dinner, paired with wine and candlelight. But my birthday? It had become content. Another staged scene for her social media feed. I picked up my tea and took a small sip. The bitterness coated my tongue, sliding slowly down my throat and sinking deep into my chest. Noah was just about to reach for a piece of roast meat when Lauren quickly blocked his hand. Her voice was low but firm, leaving no room for discussion. Wait, Noah. I haven't started filming yet. Can you just hold off for a minute? And when the camera's on, remember to behave. Don't just dive into your food like last time. She adjusted the angle, fine-tuned the camera, then raised her glass with a smile so perfect it looked digitally filtered. Mom, today's your birthday. No matter how busy life gets, our family always comes together to celebrate. It's our tradition. I froze. Whatever small flicker of warmth I had left inside was instantly extinguished, her voice carrying the chill of glass shards. She raised her glass again and pulled Noah closer. The little boy looked visibly impatient but obediently recited the lines he'd clearly been coached on. Grandma, thank you for always taking care of me. I love you. Happy birthday. Wishing you good health and lots of happiness. I stared at this perfectly staged family scene, suddenly struck by how absurd it all was. Harold, seemingly touched, had misty eyes. He even placed a hand on my shoulder. Sylvia, in all these 40 years have I ever let you suffer? Look at us, our daughter, our grandson, they love you so much. We're a lucky family, aren't we? His words sent a cold shiver down my spine. My body stiffened as a memory from a few years ago came rushing back. They'd said the same thing back then, deciding out of nowhere to celebrate my birthday. But the table had been piled with food I couldn't even chew. I'd casually mentioned the dishes were too tough, and what I got in return was a round of scolding. Lauren put so much effort into cooking for you. That's her way of showing love. How could you be so ungrateful? Mom, I work all week. I don't have time to remember your food preferences. Even Daniel chimed in. Mom, Lauren really tried. Why are you always so hard to please? They were all so eager to talk about their sacrifices, their efforts, their exhaustion. But who ever remembered me? I knew Harold couldn't handle acidic food. Just a hint of vinegar would give him mouth ulcers. I knew Lauren was allergic to peaches, so I always peeled her fruit thoroughly. I knew Noah hated chicken skin. Every time I made soup, I'd carefully remove it from the drumsticks. I even remembered Daniel's dislike for cilantro. I'd leave it out entirely when I cooked. It's not that they can't remember what I like. It's that they never cared enough to try. In that moment, something inside me snapped. Not from hurt but from clarity. A sharp, blinding clarity, not warm but cold and lucid. I didn't want to keep playing this charade of a happy family anymore. I set my teacup down. My hand, still holding the chopsticks, paused, then dropped them heavily onto the table. I looked Harold straight in the eye, my voice calm but laced with a blade-sharp edge. So Harold, where's the orange cake I asked you to pick up? The air around the dining table turned to stone. Even the background noise from Noah's cartoon felt jarring and out of place. Daniel was the first to react. He rushed over and hit pause on the camera, freezing everyone's smiles on the screen. Lauren frowned, clearly irritated, as if I had just ruined her carefully choreographed storyline. Harold blinked, then slipped back into his usual dismissive tone. Oh, the cake? I did go to pick it up this morning. But I ran into Ruby on the way. She said she'd been craving it, so I gave it to her. He said it like it was nothing, waving it off as if I were being unreasonable. It's just a cake. If it means that much to you, I'll go get you another one tomorrow. His tone was light, casual, like brushing off a petty complaint. But it hit me like a weight pressing down on my chest. I didn't let it slide. I stared at him and asked, word by word, it's my birthday today. Shouldn't there be a cake? That cake was the only thing I had actually asked for. I knew my teeth couldn't handle much and I didn't have any cravings, but I'd been thinking about that orange zest cake for a long time. Harold had promised, so casually, so easily, that he'd bring it home. And yet, even that tiny wish of mine couldn't compete with a throwaway comment from Ruby. Lauren jumped in, trying to smooth things over. Right, we can't have a birthday without a cake. It'll look better on camera too. The audience loves that kind of thing. I'll order one right now. She pulled out her phone and pretended to open the delivery app. I just stared at her, a cold laugh forming silently in my chest. She didn't care whether I wanted the cake. She cared about how the cake would look on camera. I turned back to Harold, my voice low and razor-sharp. If Ruby wanted cake, couldn't she buy her own? Is she broke, or has she gotten so pathetic she's begging for handouts on the street? His face darkened instantly and the whole table tensed. Lauren, don't order anything, he said, his voice simmering with anger. Don't spoil her. She's 68. Does she really need to act like some teenager obsessing over a birthday cake? He dropped his chopsticks and looked at me, eyes full of disdain. Ruby's husband died, her kids aren't around, she's had a rough time. What's the harm in giving her a piece of cake? Sylvia, you're being ridiculous. Can't you hear how nasty you sound? I looked at him, his tone, his expression so familiar, so condescending. And not a trace of remorse. He went on, isn't this table full of food enough for you? Lauren and Daniel made an effort to come home and cook for you. And now you're throwing a tantrum? People would laugh if they saw how you're acting. Lauren's face shifted. All she'd wanted was a warm, sentimental video, but Harold's outburst made her look like an uncaring daughter. She spoke up, her voice laced with frustration. Mom, I took time off to come home and cook with you. If you didn't like the food, you could have just said so, but ruining everyone's mood like this, there's really no need. I looked at her and whatever warmth I had left inside turned to ice. I had always known deep down that they didn't truly care. But in this moment, it finally settled in, clear, cold, undeniable. In this house, my feelings, my needs, my wishes have never mattered.